Good day, everyone. Wonderful to be in front of live audience again. My aim is to raise some thoughts and discussion on industry-academia collaboration. Just a few words about ArcDia and our products in the beginning. We are a privately held company founded in 2005. We are about 35 employees at the moment, and we focus on developing and manufacturing solutions for rapid decentralized infection diagnostics. Our brand name is Maripok, which is automated solution for decentralized testing of acute infectious diseases, those diseases where rapid results matter the most, the patient and the treatment outcomes. It consists of a fully automated continuous feed analyzer. It's immunoassay analyzer, so not PCR, but antigen testing. And really you put a sample in and the result comes out so that in 15 to 20 minutes, most of the positive samples are detected. And what is typical for our solution and differentiating us from other rapid tests on the market is, in addition to automation, is that we most often measure several pathogens from a single sample. So for example, in a COVID-like case, we can detect up to 11 pathogens from the same nasopharyngeal swab. And the reagents for those tests are inside test cartridges in dry format. It's really simple to use. You take the swab sample from the nose, you cut the swab into a tube with barcode, add some buffer from a bottle top dispenser, give a short vortex to release the sample from the swab, and then insert the sample tube into the analyzer for fully automated analysis. And currently we have multi-analyte tests available for these 4 different applications: respiratory infectious diseases, including influenza and COVID-like illnesses, pharyngitis, acute gastroenteritis, and then C. difficile infection in antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Then going to the actual topic, quite recently we got from Business Finland a reasonable grant to develop further our sustainable and actionable diagnostic solutions. Regarding collaborations, actually the foundations for this project, our activity, this is now a company project solely. It's not a product development project yet, but a research phase project. But the foundations were really laid in a Tekes funded project between years 2014 to 18. So in that project, we had really good, excellent, deep collaboration between other industrial partners and other academic partners like VTT, several universities. But still, it took about 4 years after that project where we studied this topic heavily, certain pathogens that we aim to have tests for. It took 4 years before we were ready and able to start our own research project. And after, if this research project is successful, then we will have to start yet product development project. So really long timelines and really good collaboration. And one of the reasons why we got this grant were because the technology that we have and the solutions we have, they enable controlling the costs of infection diagnostics. You know how much has been spent on COVID diagnostics during the past 2 years. Maripok enables increasing the clinical efficacy and effectiveness of diagnostics and clinical processes and minimizing environmental impacts. This was one of the big factors for this grant money, that Maripok is more sustainable than many other options to do diagnostics. We apply, first of all, micro volumes. The volume per pathogen that we use is 20 microliters, 20 microliters. And thanks to our proprietary technology, the consumption of plastics in the automated test is about 25 to 50-fold less compared to traditional culture, which is used for streptococcal tonsillitis testing, for example, or then rapid lateral flow testing or PCR testing for COVID. And what is important to take into the equation is that shipping samples from the sampling location to the central lab, if the testing is in the central lab, that produces emissions too. Like in Finland, we talked about like border testing, but that wasn't the border testing, that was sampling at the border, and the testing was done in central labs. Okay, then some experiences from our collaborations in the past. Some observations from the company point of view. I feel that in companies, it's very often highly target oriented with tight timelines. So excuse us if we feel impatient at times. I notice myself keep pushing academic collaborators that couldn't you now like move a bit faster. And that I've observed that rush or doing something immediately may mean different things, different timelines for different people and coming from different entities. For example, with the COVID, when we started to develop our COVID test, which was after all one of the first on the market, CE marked and ready for clinical diagnostics, it took about 10 months from us to get the inactivated and cultured virus to our laboratory. And we don't have facilities to grow and inactivate such viruses, which required in that stage PSL3 labs. But we were able to finally get it from Finland, and we are grateful for that. But it took 10 months, which was obviously much too long, because at that point, actually, we were able to get it free of charge from US. So in continuation, looking forward, I think that resources for rapid responses should be secured and processes should be streamlined for future. Then we feel at ArcDia that company research has to be, by default, objective. In the end, someone will replicate our studies, and we would be good if we try to cheat in any way. Then we have been collaborating in a lot of studies. So, for example, method comparison studies, comparing our test to other tests. And we have been forced to think a lot that how we make good studies that are designed and conducted in a way which are scientifically valid and produce product-wise accurate data. And we feel that company researchers may not be more biased than academic researchers. We are all only humans, and also on the academic side, there are conflicting interests and conflicts of interests. And we've noticed that while introducing decentralized diagnostics, it disturbs and disrupts current processes, and this may cause turbulence. Regarding distribution of diagnostics, you may acknowledge, sorry, that long ago, there was one computer per city in the beginning, then there was one computer in a company, and now everybody is wearing a computer in your pocket. And that's what we've seen with diagnostics during COVID, that everybody has used a rapid lateral flow test now. And this has been our vision, and it became reality during the pandemic. So as I said, the shock program was very successful for us. It had reasonable bureaucracy. We were really happy for it, despite this program was quite heavily also criticized by some, but we were happy. Then we've been also involved, for example, in European Union, industry academia, collaboration projects. And while the material results were reasonable, the mode of collaboration wasn't optimal for a company. It was executed as part of exchanges. Our researchers went to academia, and their researchers came to us, and it was split into multiple pieces. So it wasn't very suitable for a company research and heavy bureaucracy compared to Business Finland projects. And then finally, keys to successful collaboration. I think it will help mutual understanding if the academic partner understands somehow that what it takes to get a prototype test that has been developed in an academic lab onto markets, validated, clinical studies, all the quality controls, and up to having it with customers really bringing revenues. Years go by, a lot of money needs to be invested. And then from industrial manufacturer point of view, it feels often very odd to see researchers' papers comparing industrially validated, really high quality products compared against lab developed tests. Quite often researchers, Master of Science students, PhD students develop tests and then they are adapted for clinical diagnostic use, and then these industrial tests are compared against those. And those kind of research type tests are often called gold standard then. But in order to increase mutual understanding, I would like to call your attention and have a look on the tool to increase this understanding. There's a biomarker commercialization guide at this address, and the guide also has Finnish contribution. So it basically guides you through that what all regulatory things need to be taken into account when introducing new biomarkers into clinical diagnostic use. So that's a really good tool to increase your understanding, especially if you think of setting a startup or want to bring your biomarker into clinical diagnostic use one day. So I think what I would like to say about the collaboration still has been already said. I would really love to have more of this kind of events, more mingling, more discussion, open brainstorming on what we could do together. I really support this idea. Many of the previous speakers have said this. And my dream has been for a long time already, and I still repeat it, that as we have plenty of research ideas that are not only linked to our products specifically, but that would really benefit the whole mankind and the whole Finnish society and the healthcare, that as we come up with new scientific questions, that we could throw these ideas, questions to the academic society. Some researcher that would take the ball, carry it on, and after months or maybe years, come back to us and say that, okay, now I found out, I solved the problem, or I found out the basic scientific question that you had in your mind. And then that would help us in developing further new innovative diagnostics, but that would also help other companies developing new diagnostics and not just us. So this is really what I dream of, that we have every month we have some question that could be a worth of PhD study. And that's it then. Thank you.